All right, this lens is crusty, but you're probably wondering what I'm wearing. We're doing a little something different today on Bearded Outdoors. We're getting bees. So, I have a buddy on his way. He started this nuke for me, and he's gonna help me swap it into the new hive and get me started. So I'm gonna do a little filming on that, see what we can't put together. Stay tuned. Well, we're getting the new hive set up before the rain comes. Got tons of bees everywhere.
So there's not much to see on this one. You can see that there's honey that's being stored in the top. There's some capped brood on this side that's, you know, any day could emerge. If you looked real deep in there, you'd probably see eggs. This older comb, so you probably can't see much, but same thing on this side. So the ones that protrude a bit, that's drones.
Okay.
And the ones that are all flush are going to be your worker brood.
Okay.
So it just depends on if she tells them, hey, we need more drones, we need more workers. This time of year you won't have as many drones because they're starting to, you know, kind of gear up for winter. So they'll actually, all the workers will end up kicking the drones out. Toss it in, and I'm going to put them in the exact order that they're sitting in that hive, simply because she has a laying pattern.
Okay.
And once she's been on one, you know, it's nice to keep them kind of in the same location. So we'll just move maybe 2 of these this way, and then we'll put the 5 in there, and then we'll leave the rest of them on the side there or whatever.
Okay.
So the tool, they'll build up propolis in between each frame, and so you can't just pull them apart or she'll pull the whole stack.
Yeah.
So take your tool and then right in between there, just push it in and then do like that, and you'll see that it just break it apart.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And if you have too many of them, just give them a couple smokes and they'll go right back down in. You will kill bees doing this. It's okay. Just don't make sure it's not clean.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, healthy looking frame. So let me just make sure she's not on here. She has a yellow dot on her thorax. Let's see clear down in the very bottom of each cell, there's a white speck. It looks like a little minute grain of rice. You may have to figure out an angle that'll work. All those here, clear on the very base of it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Real time.
Yeah. So those are eggs. So those are fresh, queen laid eggs. There's lots of different opinions on, you know, do you have to find the queen every single time you get in the hive? Do you not? Signs of life of a queen is the same thing as finding a queen,
okay.
Right? So don't worry about, because once you have two deeps on here, I mean, that's 20 frames to go through. That's a lot of frames to go through, right? Mm-hmm. And you risk killing a bunch of bees, you risk killing the queen every time you get in the hive. If you take a couple frames out and you see eggs,
then you
have a queen. You're good to go. So then what the eggs look like dictates how old everything is. So when they're straight up, and you'll get the hang of this a little more. When they're straight up, like a couple of these are straight up in there, mm-hmm. Those are literally less than 24 hours laid. Okay. So what they do is they're straight up and then they'll kind of fall, and then they'll look like a comma, mm-hmm. And then the worker bees, and we'll find one on another frame. Oh, actually, right there, that one, and that one. See how it has like that white mucus in it?
Yeah. That's
royal honey.
Okay.
So that the workers are giving that one. So worker bees get royal honey for like 3 days, and then that's it. To make a queen, they get it for like 7 days. That's the difference. So they're going to start feeding it, and then that little larva is going to go. It's going to become a larva and go on its side, and it's going to sit there and eat up all that honey until it grows up into a bee. So that's how you'll know what's what. So not bad. So it's pretty much framed, pretty much end to end. I mean, you can see them real good, like over here, the specks. Mm. So that's a good laying queen.
Sweet.
And then when you push your frames together, there's a point of contact right here on each end. just kind of like push it in and let it out a little bit so they get the idea that, hey, this is closing, because you smash a lot of bees in that spot if you don't, if you don't do that. So again, you know, really good lay pattern. You can see all the eggs in there. So she's doing a pretty good job. And she starts in the middle and will kind of lay in a circle toward the outer. That's why there's capped brood on the outer, because they've emerged from the middle towards the outside rim, and then she'll relay in the middle and she'll go through that whole cycle over and over and over. And usually they'll have pollen and honey on the outside stores, so as soon as they emerge, they have something to eat. And then up here you can see like that's actual honey, and you see the capping on it, like that's capped honey, but they're keeping that for like excess stores when there's like a dearth, like a low nectar flow. They'll keep that to eat, just on their frames. And there she is.
Oh yeah, that's
Significantly different.
really obvious.
Even without the dot. You know, I mean, when there's 3,000 bees on a frame, it's difficult because your eyes are playing tricks on you, of course. But once you see her, it's pretty apparent. And she's actually not the biggest queen that I've ever seen. She's actually pretty small. But she's laying like a champ, so I wouldn't worry too much about her.
Awesome.
Some people like to mark them, some don't. I mean, bees do breathe through their thorax, so the real natural people are like, let's not mark them at all. Let's use if I see signs of a queen, then I know I have a queen kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody uses a queen differently. You know, maybe they need to make a split, put a queen excluder in, so they want to know where the queen's at, so it makes it easier to find her. It just depends. So, but once you find her, you can kind of toss her back in. You can see, again, another healthy looking frame, tons of honey all around that. So this was the one I put in there for the honey store. So they had that during the split makeup and stuff. But yeah, good looking frame. You always want to find out where she's at. I love when she's in the very middle because you don't risk squishing her on the side.
Right.
And again, just you press it in and kind of get them to move a little bit, or you can smoke them if you have to take this. And what we'll do before we put that in is get all these in here. So I'm just going to shake them out right into the hive. Just gotta get a couple of those workers to realize that she's in a brand new spot. Close it up, make sure her pheromones strong in there. So then on brand new hives, which is awesome, they're not a lot of swollen wood and you don't have a lot of propolis buildup.
Right.
So you'll just kind of center it. And then when you get in it next, you'll have plenty of room to, pop it and move it and get your fingers in it to get it out and stuff. That does not hurt the bees whatsoever. It's strange, but it just doesn't. So, if you come back here and you just shoot right at it, you'll see that they're doing little figure eights because they're in a new environment, a new home. So they're doing orientation flights. If you go up a little bit, you can kind of see them in the sky, even a little bit.
Yeah.
So they're just figuring out where they're at, and they're trying to gain, line of sight from the surroundings, because you can put brush and twigs in front of the entrance and kind of trick them sometimes into thinking, hey, we're in a new spot, so they reorient themselves.
Oh, okay.
So it just depends, you know, the situation, what you're trying to accomplish here. So eventually they'll all get the idea that, hey, this is our new home, and then that's it. They roll with it. And if you get close in, see these bees right here? There's a little gland that opens, and that's the nosineb gland. And so they're releasing pheromones saying, our queen's in here, this is our new hive, this is where you guys need to go. So they're releasing that to all the foragers in the colony so they know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good sign of acceptance, because they're not, you know, not producing it. So they'll accept where they're at. But it's pretty cool. Eventually you'll see all their asses up with that gland open. There's a bunch of them over there. Hive feeder, which we didn't bring it. Did we not bring that?
I guess not.
We'll go get it later. We got cleaned out anyway.
Yeah.
You'll put that super right on top of here, and then that'll go right down into that super box. And then you'll put the inner cover and the outer cover right on it. And then so you'll just pop the top, this one, and there may even be enough room to pour it right in there. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you'll just move it a bit and then just pour that right down in there. You can decide if you want to use both sides or one side. It's up to you.
Okay.
It holds 2 gallons. You know.
Nice.
This time of year, they may go through that in a week.
Okay.
It just depends.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So like you said, the wind, you said the wind mainly comes from this side?
Yeah, right here.
So this way? Okay, cool. So yeah, there's plenty of protection. I was gonna suggest like putting like a stepping stone or a block on top of it, because you guys get some pretty gnarly wind, but
Yeah, I got plenty of stuff to
I don't think
use.
it'll be an issue, honestly. And just, you know, make sure that you give them enough warning that, hey, something's coming on. Put it on the edge, slide it around a little bit, give them a chance to get their asses out of the way. So put this in, and like I said, eventually you may want to take this and drill like an entrance hole, like a slot in here for like an upper entrance, and then maybe drill a slot out on each end for ventilation. It's really up to you how you want to do it. And the same thing, like toss it on. Eventually when bees are all up in there, you'll have bees all on the inner side of that. Just kind of give them a warning, like drop it on top of them, and you know, don't press it down all the way, and they'll get the idea to get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
And then our entrance. So theoretically, this would be placed. It's a little big.
A little too big. I know the other one slides in there.
Yeah. It's a little big, but for now, if you just wanted to leave it right here,
Yeah.
just for them to get the idea, that'll be sufficient. And if you wanted to change it later, you can. Sweet.
All right, so that's the new hive. We'll do some updates on this here and there for fun. A little bit different change on the channel. A little bit different from fishing and hunting. So, beekeeping 101.